Yeah, it's me, Galen. Galen's got Parkinson's. Galen's just chucked tea all over himself. I'm having tea because it's a nice sunny day. I'm going to talk today about wizards. Now, this is not a documentary about the mythology of wizards, because that'd be boring. And I'm not doing boring. I'm too old to do boring. So, this is how I do wizards. And when I say things like, this is how I do wizards, that's because, like the tea, I am a Yorkshireman. So I have magic users in very specific levels. So if you came to me and said, I'm a magic user, that means nothing. It means nothing to me. So what? If you say in a game, what is your job? I'm a magic user. I don't like that. What sort of magic user are you? And I've put it into levels. And these first levels, I've put on a little chart that I'll pop on for you to have a look at. So you can laugh at it, really, and go, what an idiot. What's that all about? And it's going to go in levels. So imagine, almost like from an educational point of view. So in my world, magic users are in two sorts. There are formally trained magic users, people that almost like go to colleges and universities. And don't say like Harry Potter. I was doing this in the 70s, and if I pinched it off anybody, I pinched it off the Wizard of Earthsea. So get knotted, Harry Potter. Although I will reference that later on now, so you've got to forget everything I've just said. Yeah, so I have magic, formal magic, people who go to educational establishments. Now, again, in my world, that's expensive. It's like an old Victorian public school, and you're looking at 10,000 gold pieces a term, 30,000 gold pieces a year, and you are there for 7 years. So that excludes the rich. They can have sort of bursaries and special scholarships and things. Magic in my world is the realm of the rich. However, there are ways around that. Let's look at formal magic, but alongside that, I'm going to keep it in levels. So the first level, you've got magical ability, accepted. If you're rich enough, or if you want to, you can go to the magical schools, where you spend a number of years or levels to qualify. So from level 1 to level 6, you would be an apprentice. Once you get to level 7, you're not an apprentice anymore. You're something else. But if you can't afford to go to university, you can become a hedge magician, which would be a bit like Radagast the Brown. You have only got your innate ability and what you learn, and often you are serving a community, a village, a small town. You might be roaming the world looking for things to do. Anything you acquire and learn, you have to do it through your own adventures. I like playing hedge magic users rather than formally trained magic users. I think there's a lot of fun to be had playing a hedge magic user. If we look back at the formal training, the first thing happens after level 7, you qualify and you become a mage. So a mage has had getting formal training. They're reliable, they're competent. They're the sort of magic user you'd use for ready-made for a battle. That sort of business. You would say, I need a mage. When they qualify finally, which would be at level 10, that's the time that a lord might say, I will hire you to be my magic user. And at that level, you're a mage. I want to stick with the formal side first. So on the formal side, after a number of years, at level 11 plus, you become a wizard. At the end of your formal training as a mage, at level 10, you have got the equivalent in the United Kingdom of a degree. Okay, so I've got a degree in education. That would make me a mage in one area. But I did have the option to stop on at university for another up to 3 years to take a master's degree. That would have made me a wizard. So in my world, if you get to level 11 to 14, through formal education, you become a wizard. Now, it's possible for a wizard to remain at the college, university, and just study and study and study and study. Or occasionally leave the college or university, go on an adventure, come back for years until they master each level. So when they are a wizard of red magic, they could then become a wizard of blue magic, and they could be, and that process can eventually lead to what has always been in Dungeons and Dragons right from the 70s, what was always almost an unattainable goal, and that is the Archmage. So at level 27, I know that sounds massive, you would become an Archmage. Now, in the early parts of Dungeons and Dragons, 1977, 78, becoming an Archmage was almost like a mythical desire. I don't know anybody in playing the game for real who actually achieved the level of Archmage. It was one of those aspirational things. They existed within the game, but we never got to them. It was pretty hard to get to level 27. An Archmage is a professor. He's got to live a long time for a start. Because again, in my world, humans live 70 years. So if they get to 70, you've then got to start throwing percentage dice, and if you get less than 70, you're fine. But if you get, say, 76, that's when they're going to die, when they are 76. So you've then got to make a note of that, because you know you've only got another 6 years, and that character is going to die of old age, unless they die of something horrible before that. An Archmage would be like Dumbledore in Harry Potter. There, I said I'd mention Harry Potter. He's the professor, is the white robe top of the doings, not Gandalf. Not Gandalf the White, that's something different. I'm going to come on to that. But the professor, the top dude at the university, is a Archmage, and he gets to wear white robes because everyone else is wearing the colours of their order: red, orange, green, rainbow. Yep. So that's the end of the formal side of magical education. Now, there are some exceptions and weird, strange things around that. So first of all, let's stay within the university complexes or the big cities or the palaces, where you would find a sage. Now, a sage is basically a librarian. They don't go around casting spells. They know magic. A sage needs to be about level 11 plus. He needs to be in that area of competence. He knows the languages, he knows the magic spells, and he's a librarian. He compiles things, he knows the proper names of things. There are magic users who have nothing to do with that formal education. It's where the raw magic hedge magicians can excel, because we have a group of magic users who have nothing to do with universities. The lowest of these, power-wise, is a sorcerer. Now, a sorcerer has massive, unpredictable, raw power, and it will be to about level 11. Beyond level 11, a sorcerer becomes something slightly worse, in my opinion, in my world even. This is not of authentic D&D. This is not the truth about wizards. She's not wizards in history. No, this is me making what I've made up over 50 years. I am telling you about, in the hope that it's entertaining. I'm not saying do it. I'm just hoping you go, look at that fat lad. fat bald lad, daft as a brush. That'll do. Okay, that's the level we're at here. I'm setting the bar extraordinarily low. Happy? I'll carry on. The next one up in power is a warlock. Now, a warlock bargains for power. He acquires his power usually from some nefarious deal. He has to be of magical ability to use the power, but he always has to bargain something in return, and he's always a dark character carrying some burden or curse which is the result of the bargain he's made. Finally, in this video, the top of this tree is the magus, M-A-G-U-S, and the magus is the mythical magic user, and the two I'm going to cite are Gandalf when his power is fully revealed as Gandalf the White, or perhaps Merlin in the Arthurian tales. I'm interested to see what you think, because this is only my idea. This is not formal. I've not got it from a book. It's evolved. I pinched bits from here, I pinched bits from there. I change it. I might change it again tomorrow. I don't know. I am a creature of whimsy and mystery. And for now, I'm going to say, ta-ra, Chuck.